Welcome guys, welcome to today's lecture. As you know, this is the lecture 5 of our vector integration series. Today we shall discuss about volume integrals. Now in my previous videos I have already discussed about single integrals, double integrals, as well as line integrals and surface integrals. Now this time these integrals are called triple integrals. In the screen you have already seen the three different integrals and the integration itself. See, there is three variables and that's why obviously three integrals. Basically in three-dimensional world, a volume is represented by height, width and length, by these three different variables. That's why in case of volume integrals, the minimum criteria is to have the three different variables with three different integrals. Now whether the upper and lower limit are dependent or independent, that will be another thing, but for now this is the simplest form of a triple integral or a volume integral. Why this is independent limits? Because these are three integer limits which are not dependent on any other. Now here is the process of evaluating any triple integral. Now there is no hard and fast rule that whether you should do the z first, then y, then x, or x first, then y, then z. Since these three integrals are independent limit values, so you are free to do anything. Now for my process, I have first evaluated the z integral, then the y integral, then the x integral. Now you can do the reverse thing also. You can evaluate the x integral first, then y and then z. See, z dz have been evaluated under the limit 0 to 2. See, if nothing is written in the limits, you have to know that this first integral, this is for the x, the second is for y, and this one is the third. Now in technical pronunciation, this integral is called the outer integral, this integral is called the intermediate integral, and this integral is called the inner integral. If nothing is given in the mathematics, then you should know that the inner one for x, the intermediate one for y, and the outer one is for z. Okay, if something is given, then that will be very simple for you. Now this is the most simple triple integral. It is actually three different simple line integrals have been done here. Nothing complex, nothing unusual. Let's proceed to something more complex. See, the outer integral is 0 to x plus z, the inner integral is 0 to x, the intermediate one is 0 to x, and the inner one is 0 to 2. Now this is not a conventional integration like this one. You cannot imagine that this one is for z only, this is for y, this is for x. Why? Because look at the limits. This is 0 to x plus z, this is 0 to x, and this is an independent 0 to 2 integral. Moreover, see the order of the variables dy, dz, dx. Okay, So for this type of integrations, we should have some proper way. Now see, what is not present here? Y. So this is from 0 to x plus z. So you cannot do dx or dz type of integration here. You have to proceed the dy type of integration. See, I have first drawn the x plus y plus z upon dy integration here. See, this is xy, this is y square upon 2, this is zy. Limit 0 to x plus z. Now, in the intermediate integral 0 to x, apart from x, what is not present here? Z. Now, dy integration have been done. Okay. Now we are left with dz and dx. In the intermediate integral, z is not present. So you have to evaluate the dz integral. Okay. This will be x square z. This will be z cube by 3. This will be 2x z square by 2, that is 2 cancels out, that is x z square, 0 to x. Upon putting the value of the limits, we have this thing, only x cube dx. This is the simplified form of this one, and this is the very simple integral, 0 to 2x cube dx. The value is 14. Now I am repeating the process here. See, look out for the limits first. For the outer integral 0 to x plus z, y is not present. Hence, you have to proceed through dy type integration. Then, after doing that and putting all the required limits, we are left with the intermediate integral 0 to x and with two variables, dx, dz only. In the intermediate integration 0 to x, so z is not present. So we have to proceed through dz integration. Now after putting that value also, the integration will be simplified form of only x variable. So though there is no hard and fast rule about the order of the integration, you have to follow the original mathematics. I have already told you that these are three independent limits, and that's why it is very simple, but this is not an independent limit. Okay, now for this type of integrations, you have to know whether which one is not present on the upper limit, then proceed through your variable. Now why this process is very important, you will see in the later questions. Now before I further proceed, if you are new to my channel, please subscribe to the channel, and of course don't forget to hit the notification bell for the further updates. Now here we have our third problem. Find the volume of the solid prism in the figure. This is the figure. Now let us see the figure in detail. Now see, this is actually a prism where this plane is denoted as y plus z equals to 1, and this plane, this triangle plane, is determined as x equals to 3. So we have our cutting points here. This is 1, this is 3, the axes are here. So we are left with two equations, y plus z equals to 1 and x equals to 3. This is the origin, so all the lower limits will be 0. Now how to determine what will be the limits of the different variables? Now see, the cutting point at the z, this is 1. So this is the starting point, this is the ending point. So z starts at 0 and ends at 1. So the limit of z equals to 0 to 1. Now what is the limit of y? Y is z dependent. Y starts from 0 but ends at y equal to 1 minus z, because this equation determines the upper value of y. And what about x? Clearly it is depicted in the picture, x equal to 3. This plane is x equal to 3. So this is the starting point, this is the ending point. So the upper limit of x is 3 and lower limit is 0. So all the three limits have been already determined now. Now we have to determine the volume integral, like this one. Now see, I have written x equals to 0 to 3 in the outer integral. You can write the z integral here, no offense, but y is a dependent integral, y equal to 0 to 1 minus z. So now there is a barrier. If you do z integral first, then how would you proceed to this intermediate integral? Y is equal to 0 to 1 minus z. Though you have the provision to add the z integral at the outer and the x in the inner, you cannot do for this intermediate integral. That is the trick, that is the twist of this maths. Either you have to do the x first, then y, and you are left with, this is the upper limit, so you are left with only z parts, then you will have to do the z part. Otherwise there will be variable in your last answer. You can check it out. So our first integration, simple, 0 to 3 dx, that is 3. Now our second integration, 0 to 1 minus z y, so this is 1 minus z. Now we are left with only z integration, 0 to 1 minus z dz, and the answer is 3 by 2. Now once again I repeat the process. First of all, always determine the upper and lower limits. Since this is the origin, so all the lower limits are 0, 0, 0. Y plus z equals to 1, so the upper limit of y will be 1 minus z. See, 1 minus z. The cutting point at z axis is 1, so the upper limit of z will be 1. The cutting point at x axis is 3, so the upper limit of x is 3. All the limits have been determined now. Now you will have to determine whether you follow xyz or zx or zyx type. Now since this y is dependent upon z, then you cannot perform the z integration before this one. So the z integration will be the inner integral. This is the intermediate integral, and of course the rest, that is x, this is the outer integration. The rest is very simple. Okay. Now let's proceed to our further problem. Find the volume of the ball x square plus y square plus z square less or equals to than r square. Now this is a very common, this is a very standard problem. This equation represents a sphere of radius capital R. Okay, so we will have to determine the volume of a sphere of radius capital R. We all know from the formula it is 4/3 pi r cube. But for now we have to determine it from the volume integral perspective. Now we will use the spherical polar coordinate parametric equations. And in that equation, the elementary volume can be written as r square dr sin theta d theta d phi. Now the spherical polar coordinates use the parametric equations as x equal to r sin theta cos phi, y is equal to r sin theta sin phi, and z equals to r cos theta. And ds you can remember in my surface integral problems, ds was r square sine theta d theta d phi, and dv, the elementary volume, can be written in spherical polar coordinates as r square dr sine theta d theta d phi. Now how this will come, I cannot explain in this video because it is a pure vector integration video. For the spherical polar coordinates and cylindrical polar coordinates, I shall make some separate videos. But for now, you have to remember the elementary volume expression. Now, find the volume of the ball. No octant has been defined, so everything is covered, and that's why the limits of theta and phi will be throughout the octants. That's why r equal to 0 to this capital R, theta equals to 0 to pi, phi equals to 0 to 2 pi. Okay. Since there is no dependency upon these variables, I can separate the variables like this one, and at a time I can do the maths. So this is d phi 0 to 2 pi, that is 2 pi. This is sine theta d theta, that is minus cos theta 0 to pi. This is r cube by 3 0 to r, and upon simplification it gives 4/3 pi r cube. So this is a very simple example of volume integration in spherical polar coordinates. Now we have a little bit more complex mathematics. Evaluate triple integral v 2x plus y dv, where v is the closed region bounded by the cylinder z equal to 4 minus x square and the plane x equal to 0, y equal to 0, y equal to 2, z equals to 0. Now see, though this problem seems to very complex one, this is a very simple one. Now first of all, if you can visualize the volume element that has been given to you, you can draw that, because that picture can help you a lot, and if you cannot, then you can do the proceedings like normal mathematics. Now I can visualize as well as draw the picture, because see, z equal to 4 minus x square. So this thing, this A, B, E, F, this is the part of the cylinder. Why this is the part of the cylindrical shape? Because it has been cut off by the y equal to 2 plane. This CBF, this is the y equal to 2 plane. Okay, this plane, this CBF, this is the y equal to 2 plane. It cut off the cylindrical shape z equal to 4 minus x square. Now how this can be drawn? See, zx. Okay, so this cylinder lies on this plane above the xy plane. This is in the xz plane. Okay, hope my drawing is a bit clear to you, so that you can visualize the cylindrical volume. Actually not a cylindrical volume, actually this is a shape of like pastry. Yeah, pastry is one of the most favorable visualization of this volume. Okay, so we have our z equals to 0 plane. See, OABC, this is the z equals to 0 plane. This is x equals to 0 plane. So this plane is x equals to 0 plane. OCFE, this is x equal to 0 plane. Y is equal to 0 plane, that is OAE, this is y equal to 0 plane. So the visualization can give you a clear path about the volume. The drawing or the visualization is not mandatory, but it can help you a lot. Now we have to determine the lower and upper limit of the variables. Now z equal to 4 minus x square. Since this is the origin, so the lower limit of all the variables are 0. See, 0. For z, this is 0 to 4 minus x square, given equation. For x, this is 0. For y, this is y equal to 0 to y equal to 2. Now for x, put z equals to 0. Then x square equal to plus minus 2. Since this variable is in the first octant, we can have x equal to plus 2, but we cannot have x equal to minus 2 because that will be in the second octant. That's why the visualization very important. See, once again I am explaining why we are not taking plus minus 2 both the variables, because this pasty shape volume is in the first octant. Why it is in the first octant? See, x equals to 0, this plane, y is equal to 0, this plane, z equals to 0, this plane, x equals to 0, this plane. So everything is constrained into the first octant, and in first octant x is positive. So that's why we put 0 at z. Though we have x equals to plus minus 2, we will only take the x equal to plus 2 as the upper limit, not the minus 2 for the second octant. Clear? Now we have our all the variables and their lower and upper limits. Now the integration. 2x plus y dv, x equal to 0 to 2, y equal to 0 to 2. Since z is dependent upon x, so that will be in our outer integration, and after doing the y variable we will proceed in the x variable, and that's why it is in the inner integration. Clear? Now for the first one, that is it takes the form of 2xz plus yz, 0 to 4 minus x square, left with dy dx and left with the x and y integration. Now since this x equal to 0, y is equal to 0 are independent to each other, I can rearrange them. See, this is the x equal to 0, but now I have put it in the intermediate one. Okay. Now upon putting the upper and lower values, we have this one. Clearly I can do first the y integration or first the x integration. In this scenario, I have done the x integration first. So this gives me 4x square, this gives me minus of x to the power 4 by 2, this gives me plus 4 of xy minus x square y, x cube by 3 into y. Now if you are interested in doing the y integrations first, you can do that. You can check whether the 80 by 3 is the ultimate answer or not. That is your homework. Okay. So after this lecture is over, you can recheck this integration, thereby doing the y integration first, then the x integration. Okay. Now one thing to say, visualization and drawing of the volume given by you, given to you, is not that important, but it helps you to determine the upper and lower limit of the variables, because after visualization you can determine whether the volume is in first octant or in second octant, or all the octants. For this case, all the octants are covered or not. Okay. Now let's proceed for our next questions. Evaluate the volume integral where V is the region that lies below the plane z equal to y plus 2, above the xy plane, and between the cylinders this and this. Now for me, I can visualize this volume, but I cannot draw, because actually 3D representation in 2D plane is very tough, and the intersection of these two cylinders, simply I cannot draw that without the help of any software like GNU Plot or any other software. But I don't want to use it here, so I can visualize, but I am unable to draw. Then how can I proceed? See, cylinders, these two are cylinders, so we can use what? Cylindrical polar coordinate system, like x equal to r cos theta or phi, whatever you can say, x equal to r cos phi, y equal to r sin phi, and z equal to z. Okay, and that's what exactly I am gonna doing now. X equal to r cos phi, y equal to r sin phi, z equals to z. Now see, what is r? Since it is the intersection between these two cylinders, for this one, this is x square plus y square equals to 2 square. So for this one, r equal to 2, and for this one, r equal to 3. So r lies between 2 and 3. So r lies between 2 and 3. I am repeating, since the volume is the intersection between these two cylinders, our value of r or the limit of r will be under these two. So for this one, r equal to 2, for this one, r equal to 3. So the upper and lower limit are 3 and 2 respectively. Now what is the value of phi? The upper limit and lower limit of phi? 0 to 2 pi. Why? Because no octant has been clearly given, so is the whole volume case, that is all the octants are covered here. And what about z? See, z equal to y plus 2, so very easy, lower limit of z equals to 0 and upper limit is y plus 2. What is y? Y is equal to r sin phi, and what is r? That has a limit. So these two variables are these two limits are linked with one another. Another example of dependent limit variable. Okay, now the volume. See, z equals to 0 to r sin phi plus 2. Then we have the provision of doing the r integration, then phi is actually independent of these two. So first you have to determine the limits, then the integrations. Since z is dependent upon r and phi, z integration must be the outer integral. Then we have r equal to 2 to 3. Okay, that is a intermediate integral, and then we have phi equal to 0 to 2 pi. But remember, your z combines of sin phi, so unless and until you do these two integration, you cannot do this integration. Clear? And for the dv, since this is a cylindrical polar coordinate system, what we have the dv elementary volume can be written as r dr d phi dz. In some textbooks, this r is denoted as rho. Okay, because it is often you guys often mistake between the radius of the cylinder and the general displacement vector r. I have used the r as the radius of the cylinder, not the general displacement vector. Clear? But in some cases you can denote this by rho. So in that case, dv becomes rho d rho d phi dz. Both are right. Now for the first integral, we have integration dz, so z with these two limits. After putting the limits and simplifying, we have r square sine phi plus 2r dr d phi. Then after doing r integration, we have for this r cube by 3, and for this 2 into r square by 2, the 2 cancels out and it becomes r square. Upon putting the upper and lower limit, we have the simplified form as minus 19 by 3 sine phi plus 5 d phi. See, it will be a huge mistake if you separate this d phi first with phi equal to 0 to 2 pi and make a 2 pi. Why? Because then you will left with a sine phi and your answer will contain a variable. So that will be a huge mistake. So before proceeding any integration, carefully proceed. Okay. Now after putting this upper and lower limit, we can have the answer as 10 pi. Now see, it is very difficult to draw as well as visualize the intersection of these two cylinders cut off by the plane this one. So I was unable to draw the volume element. Rather, I have the provision of using the cylindrical polar coordinate system, just like the spherical polar coordinate system. So this parametric equation format is very much important for you, because it is a very powerful tool you can use wisely, and after wise use, the quite complex mathematics become very easy one, just like this one. Okay, now let's proceed for our next one. Evaluate this integral where v is the upper half of the sphere given. Now see, this is the upper half of the sphere, so that means I can draw it like this one. Now this half sphere, that is called the hemisphere, this hemisphere contains 4 octants: first, second, third and fourth. Third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh and eighth are excluded. What will be the impact? The impact will be on the limit. Okay, because if whole surface, whole volume is to be considered, then the theta will vary from 0 to pi, but for now it can only be 0 to pi by 2. The other limits whenever becomes as usual. This is the spherical polar coordinate transformation system, and this is your upper and lower limits for the hemisphere. Now since this is x square plus y square plus z square equal to 1, this is 1 square, so, and this is origin, so r varies from 0 to 1. Since this is the hemisphere, theta varies from 0 to pi by 2, and since this whole circle is considering, so we have phi from 0 to 2 pi. Now the volume integration becomes very easy. Z equal to r cos theta, and dv becomes r square sin theta d theta, r square sin theta d theta dr d phi. Upon simplifying, we have this integration. Now since these r, theta and phi are not dependent upon each other, we can divide them into 3 different integrations and do them simultaneously. Like this thing is just 2 pi. Now this is r to the power 4 by 4, 0 to 1, and this is sin theta cos theta d theta. You can do this integration by 2 different methods. By taking half, you make 2 sin theta cos theta d theta sin 2 theta d theta, or this cos theta is what? This cos theta is the differentiation of sin theta, so you can write that sin theta d of sin theta. Clear? And this will act as a integration x dx, and that's why sin square theta by 2. Personally, I think this is the most convenient way for trigonometric integrations, because in trigonometric integrations either you have to remember the formulas or there is a provision of mistake. But for this algebraic process, you don't have to cram anything or remember anything. You have to just remember one or two simple formula. Like in this case, cos theta is the differentiation of sin theta. So we can easily write cos theta d theta as d of sin theta, and simply this is a algebraic form, x dx, so x square by 2. Okay, you have the provision of doing anything, but for me this is the most easy and simple way. And upon putting all the upper and lower values, we have the integration as pi by 4. Okay, you can check by the sin 2 theta equation and after putting the values whether pi by 4 is the answer or not. Okay, now let's proceed for the next one. Now this next problem is quite unique because nothing is given. See, only the first octant is given and the region under the plane is given. Nothing is given except for these two information. First, we have to determine what type of plane is that. It is a x by 3 plus y by 2 plus z by 6 equals to 1. That means cutting point in x axis is 3, cutting point in y axis is 2, and cutting point in z axis is 6. So we can draw the figure like this one. So OC is the cutting point, that is 6 unit, OA is the 3 unit, and OB is the 2 unit. Now see, this OABC, actually it is a tetrahedron. Tetrahedron having 4 surfaces. First one OAC, then OBC, then OAB, and now the ABC. So actually this is a tetrahedron volume. Okay, now why this is a most interesting volume integration? Because here you have to determine what are the upper and lower limits of these 3 variables. Now for z, now before that this is 0 0 0, so all the lower limits are 0 0 0. Now for z we can write z equals to 6 minus 2x minus 3y. So we have our z from 0 to 6 minus 3y minus 2x. Now drop z. Now what we have? 2x plus 3y equals to 6. Then y varies from 0 to what? 6 minus 2x by 3, y equals to, dropping z we have y equal to 6 minus 2x by 3. So that is the upper limit of y, just like this one. Now for the x, you have to drop both y and z. What will have you? 2x equals to z, that means x equals to 3. So you have the upper limit of x is 3 and lower limit is 0. So this is the process of determining the upper and lower limit, where nothing is given to you, only the planes, or only the equation of the planes. See, only one equation is given. In our previous problems, various planes have been given to you, like x equal to 3, y equal to 1, y equal to 0, z equal to 1. Okay, but this is the most complex one, this is the most compact one also. It is a one line problem, but the most complex problem. Why? Because actually all the informations about the limits are hidden in this plane. So for the z1 you have to use the equation like z equal to 6 minus 3y minus 2x. Now for the y1 you have to drop the z. Now you determine how y looks like. Y looks like 6 minus 2x by 3. Then again you have to drop both y and z. and see x equal to 3. Okay, now we can proceed our integration as, see, this is called a limit but dependent limit integration. Z is dependent on y and x. Now y is dependent on x. Now x is independent here. Okay, this type of integration is the most complex one and the most intriguing one and the most tricky also. Now what we have, 2x dz dy dx. The first equation, only dz integration this to this. So we have z this to this, and we are left with two integrations having 6 minus 3y minus 2x, 2x dy dx. Next we have dy integration, but before that we have to simplify this format like 12x minus 6xy minus 4x square dy. Then we have the integration like 12xy minus 6xy square by 2, that is 2 cancels out 6 by 3 minus 3xy square, and minus 4x cube by 3. Sorry, minus 4x square y. It is a y integration, sorry. Now after putting the lower and upper limit and simplifying, we have 4 by 3 x cube plus 12x minus 8x square dx. Now this is a very simple integral. Okay, and this is the answer. Now I repeat the whole process once more. For this type of problems, first you have to, if you can, draw the volume. If you cannot, then don't draw. Okay, I can proceed the whole mathematics without drawing the volume. I have drawn the volume only to visualize. The z, for z, this equation helps you. Z equals to an equation. Then for y you have to drop the z or put z equals to 0. Then you have y equals to something equation, and for x you have to put both y and z equals to 0 in the equation. Okay, and then proceed like first z, then y, then x. This type of integrations are very very common in your exam papers. Actually, we the examiners like this type of problems because all the informations are hidden herewith. So this is the end of our lecture today, guys. Hope you have enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and share my video. See you soon.